Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review. We're going to be diving into a few things, but starting off the bat with the giveaway winners from two recent videos. We had a Deluxeified Board Games video with 2 giveaways, and then we had a Roleplay Adventures Gulpax's Secret video with 1 giveaway, and let's go ahead and dive into those now. As usual, if you get a comment from somebody who wants you to reach out to them on Telegram or WhatsApp or pay you lots of money to be able to get the prize, don't pay them lots of money, they're probably not me. Only ever reach out to me at alex@boardgameco.com. That sounded so mean. No, reach out to me wherever you want, however you want. But if you want a response in terms of giveaways, the only way I'm actually going to work with you on that is in terms of again, it sounds so harsh. My point is, if you're wondering if you won, reach out to me at alex@boardgameco.com. Any other form of communication regarding giveaways is someone trying to cheat you. That's the short version. If you just want to say hi, by all means, say hi to me on Telegram. It's probably not me, but we can have a fun conversation. In any case, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the giveaway winners. We had a mask, which is probably, there we can grab it. We had this mask set of Saturnalia over here, worn once by me, not signed by me, because I'm not going to do that, and it's leather, but which means you guys have to be okay with leather if you want this one. But either way, at this point, this one went to Jeremiah Harmon. And again, I'll try to comment on the winners, but as usual, same rules apply. If I neglect to comment, or if I do comment, in any case, if you have a week to basically claim your prize, at which point, if you haven't, it goes to people on Patreon, on my Patreon. Speaking of which, I have a Patreon. Go ahead and, well, not go ahead, please go ahead and sign up and support me on Patreon and all that stuff. In any case, the second winner is the One Sharp Joe one. Again, same rules over here. This is won by CR3DOS. CR3DOS won the One Sharp Joe, $300 to One Sharp Joe to utilize on his website. Again, you have a week and we'll go from there. And then lastly, we have Cartographers. More specifically, I think it's Cartographers Heroes. I think Cartographers Heroes plus 3 map packs. That was won by Tommy Janulis. Tommy Janulis won the Cartographers and map packs. That was that. We had 53 comments, but I had to weed through. I had to keep picking until I found an answer one. So maybe there were like 30 people who entered that one. Either way, that was a question about which videos I've dressed up in. I've dressed up in, apparently, depending on how you count them, either 4 or 5 videos on the channel out of the 1,400 I've done so far. So maybe we'll see more at some point, but not anytime soon. I used to sing on the channel too. That's something I also kind of try to stop doing as much of. The higher the subscriber count, the less fun these quirky things become, because there's more people seeing them, and it's less endearing. In any case, moving on from there, let's go ahead and dive into the news and we can review. I do not have my laptop set up this week. We just have a few news pieces, not a lot going over. Starting off the bat with with Steamforged. Steamforged Games is running an event. They're running an event for Elden Ring. They're going to have Elden Ring, the Kickstarter, popping up on November 22nd. And they are having a bunch of content creators come down to England to basically look at the game, talk about the game, showcase the game, all those kinds of things. So you can expect to see some form of content around that from me. I don't know the dates or the times. Well, I know when I'm going, but I'm saying I don't know the dates or the times where I'll have content up. I will have content up at some point in some way. I'll have a vlog, I'm sure. I'll have other videos. I'll be talking about Elden Ring because it's going to be a big deal, and why not? So that's going to be a fun thing if you want to see. And a bunch of channels are going down there as well. So keep your eyes tuned for a variety of your favorite content creators to see what content is going up around Steamforged Games, Elden Ring, and the Behemoth. That is going to be Behemoth. The Behemoth that's going to be Elden Ring, which I predict is going to raise $8.7 million on Kickstarter. It might be more, it might be less, but I'm just going with that. It's a nice round number. By round, I mean like 8.7 instead of 8.764327 dollars on Kickstarter. Then Dark Souls. Speaking of Steamforged Games, Dark Souls. The Brothers Murph, they did one of their quirky videos, which are hilarious to watch. They've done a few of these over the years. They've done Let's Play the entire Gloomhaven in a week. They've done the Let's Play every single game in our collection in a week. And now they did a Dark Souls revised core set pair-off. Basically, they each took a Dark Souls core set, the Paint of the Souls of Ariamis and the Tomb of Giants. They set up at the table against each other, and then they raced to see who could finish their core set first. I'm still in the middle of the video, so I don't even know how it ends, so I can't spoil it for you, but very entertaining concept to do for a video, but that is the Brothers Murph for you. I'll have a link to the channel down below. You can check out that video, as well as any of the other ones I just mentioned. And then 2 more pieces of news. We have Monolyth Monolyth is a new game from, not Monolyth has, because Monolyth is the company, but rather CMON. CMON has a new game by Phil Walker Harding called Monolyth with chunky 3D polyomino pieces. That's as far as I know about it. In general, Phil Walker Harding games I generally enjoy. I just played Planted. Planted is very solid, very accessible. But Phil Walker Harding is almost the master of the gateway game in terms of the sheer accessibility of his designs and just the wide variety. Famous for Sushi Go, as many other games as well. And he is Monolyth, with a Y, by the way. So it's like Monolith, but like not L-I-T-H, L-Y-T-H. So yeah, I'll have a link to that down below, and everything we talk about today. And then lastly, we have news from Ravensburger. We have the next big family game contest. Basically, Ravensburger and GameFound are doing a contest, or I don't know if it's Ravensburger and GameFound. Ravensburger is doing a contest for the next big family game that will then be launched on GameFound, and assuming it funds and all that, we'll have a retail version, a Kickstarter version. The basic idea of it is, and by the way, disclaimer, I work for GameFound, take that into account. That said, I'm not selling you anything here, I'm just letting you know a news piece. But basically, it's the next big family game contest. You can go ahead and enter it, you will get royalties, you will get basically rewards if you're picked. Obviously, you will get like a whole lot of effort and energy and not a lot of rewards if you're not picked, so factor that into your decision. Although it's a good for, I mean, I don't know, I'll be designing something. That's my current game plan, is to design something and to submit it under a fake name, because obviously if I submit it under my name, it's problems, but I don't expect to get anywhere. But I have a cool concept. Okay? We'll talk about it. But I've actually designed a few games, never actually took it further than that, but now I'm kind of incentivized. Now I want to see, because I just think it would be hilariously funny if this actually happened. Don't know if GameFound would find it as funny, because it would not look good if I actually got picked. So I'll have to like give it to somebody else. Somebody else is designing a game that I will have a fake name. We'll figure it out. I don't know. Anyways, that is basically what we have for the news, which brings us to the topic of the week. Topic of the week, which we actually have a topic of the week this week. Which, in general, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've done less and less topic of the weeks. I find that for a while, I was forcing a topic of the week in here, because the problem is the topic of the week is a very interesting concept for me, because most of the time, the thing that I want to be the topic of the week it deserves its full video. I like them to be full videos with full conversations and not shoved into a little piece, which means the topic of the week usually means it's something that I wanted to talk about that was short and not overly engaging enough for a long video, and that's what we have here. And sometimes I have those. Other times I don't, and I find myself staring at the screen for like 7 minutes trying to force a topic of the week, and that just felt less and less fun. And so eventually I got to a point, sorry as I pick this over here, eventually I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't feel the need to push the topic of the week into this video. It either exists or it does not. And this week the topic of the week is the Should You Back It series on my channel, and a slight conversation around YouTube and the algorithms and all those things in general. The basic idea is, if you've been following this channel for long enough, you know that I had a series for a long time called Should You Back It. In Should You Back It, I took a popular Kickstarter project. Generally, I didn't have a specific number in mind, but generally I would say if it had like 5,000 or more backers, I would go ahead and be like, should you back this and this game? I've done with a lot of games. Any games over here? Project Elite, Nemesis. I think I've done with Nemesis. I'm sure I have. Horizon Zero. I don't remember if I've done it. I've done it for a bunch of games, is what I'm saying. And I found that I stopped doing those as time went on for a variety of reasons. The first is, one of the big challenges I faced as this channel grew is that I very much became popular through Kickstarter, which was great, but I didn't ever want to be known as only a Kickstarter channel. I like knowing Kickstarter, but I don't want it to be exclusively Kickstarter. I want it to be all kinds of content, and to that end, the more Kickstarter content I have, my channel is 60% Kickstarter, it's not going to be thought of as 60% Kickstarter, it's going to be thought of as Kickstarter. And I didn't love that. And so as time went on, more and more I tried shifting towards non-Kickstarter content, more retail coverage, more top 10 lists, more topical stuff. And yes, every week I have my 2-back or not to back that goes up every single Monday. And then I also do review coverage of prototypes, which is also Kickstarter content. So between those, I definitely have a healthy dose of Kickstarter content, but I'd guess if you look at my video count, it's probably in the range of around maybe 25 to 30% as opposed to 60%, and that's with great intent. I don't want to be the Kickstarter channel. I want to cover Kickstarters and cover other things. I don't want to lock myself down into a specific niche and genre, past board games, which is already a specific niche and genre. And so I kind of phased out the Should You Back It partially because of that. Also because of the fact that most of the time I was covering those games in the 2-back or not to back, and so it was double coverage of a game. And so, again, it wasn't always necessary to go into a full 20-minute video on every single game. Some games are big enough that they deserve that. Other games don't need that, and I'll just cover my 2-back or not to back. And then lastly, I just find I don't have enough days for content. One thing I focus on in general, and this is news to most of you who don't know how the YouTube works, but I try not to ever have more than 3 videos a day. That's for 2 reasons. The first is, once you go above 3 videos a day on YouTube, YouTube stops alerting even your subscribers. So if I have a 4th video in a day, YouTube does not notify my subscribers. You'd have to go to my channel and find the video. You don't get a little ding. It doesn't show up in your notification feed, or at least I think it doesn't. In your what's it called? It doesn't show up in your... I'm getting a call. I'll be right back as I take this call over here. Apologies for that. And yeah, so basically YouTube will stop showing even your subscribers the videos when you have more than 3 a day. So in general, it's not to say you can't do more than 3 a day, but understand that the payoff drop for the effort you're putting in versus the viewership you're getting is going to see a big hit. Secondly, past the 3 a day limit, in general, you will always see a trade-off in those numbers. The more videos you put out, you'll always see less views per video, but you will see more views in general. Meaning the basic idea, and you can obviously check this out, it's just we'll get the checking out in a second, but the basic idea is if I put out a video a day, I might get, let's just make up magical numbers here, I'm going to get 5,000 views in that video. Great. If I put out 2 videos a day, I might get 4,000 views per video on average. If I put out 3 videos a day, I might get 3,500 views per video on average. Now you can see, as you add up those views, your total views do grow. I went from 5,000 to 8,000 to, what is it, 10,500? I think those numbers work out. Yeah, 5 to 8 to 10,500. But your average views per video goes down, which means the payoff versus the work and effort you're putting in goes down. That's generally the way YouTube will work with any sort of viewership. You go to any channel, the more videos they have, the less views they're getting per video as they add videos. And so there's that weird balance of, my goal is always to just talk about the things that I love. But if I just did that, I'd have more videos than I should. I already have more videos than I should. I like talking about the hobby. I like covering board games. I like having topical conversations. At any given point, I have like 30, 40 videos lined up waiting to go because I'm just like, I love this hobby. I love the board games. I wish I could review more, talk about more, do first impressions and unboxing for every single video because I like the space that I'm in. But I can't because, well, I could, but it's not great because you kind of burn out your subscribers. You sit there and they're like getting 4 videos a day and every single day, and they're like, you know what? I like watching Alex's 2 back and not to back, but I don't like watching it to the point that I want to see 4 videos every single day in my feed, or I guess 3 videos a day because the 4th one doesn't get shown. As it is, I'm probably testing many people's limits. As it is, when I do 20 videos a week, there will be people who sit there and say, you know what? I only watch 2 of his videos a week, and I don't need my feed clogged up for those 2 videos a week. For myself, the Dice Tower is a great reference point. For a long time, I'm currently subscribed to the Dice Tower, and I have been for a long time, but I went through a phase back and forth a few times where I unsubscribed because I don't watch all of the Dice Tower's videos. I watch maybe one every 2 or 3 days, and they're putting out 7 videos a day. So am I interested in seeing 21 videos in my feed so that I can click on that one that's occasionally interesting? They represent the majority of my YouTube feed at the moment. And the answer is, I think the quality of the content they put out and the benefit of the ones I do watch is high enough that eventually I said, yes, I'm going to do that. And so for the past like 4 or 5 years, I've been subscribed, but I went through a period where I unsubbed because of how much content they have. You will always risk pushing people away when you do too much content. So there's always that balance. Is that you push people away and you get less views per video, so the payoff in terms of the effort to reward is lower. And so that's one of the reasons why Should You Back It kind of went away. The combination of too many videos, both from the algorithm in general and then the nature of notifications, as well as just burning your own subscribers out, and then the fact that I didn't want to be too Kickstarter focused. I just did the first. I think the big line in the sand for me is, even as Should You Back It videos became less and less common, I still did them for every single CMON campaign. I like CMON campaigns. I always have. I'm a sucker for their games in general. I don't always keep them, but I do always like the journey they give me, whatever. Point is that even as I faded out more and more of the Should You Back videos, I still did them for CMON campaigns, and I still did them for larger campaigns. The point where I kind of was like, hey, you know what, I think maybe I'm actually done, was I skipped on the Dune campaign. I did a sort of one on the Cyberpunk 2077, but I skipped one for Dune. I just got to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't need to do a full video on this. I'll cover it in my 2 back and not to back on Monday. And that was kind of a moment where I was like, maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm completely done. And then they brought Cthulhu Death May Die back to the table. Now, that's not just a game from a company I love, but that's a game that I love, a game that I am obsessed with. And so I was like, I have to do a Should You Back It for fear of the unknown. And so what I may end up doing, I don't know exactly, but I may shift my Should You Back It videos to, instead of being day 1 coverage, I may shift them to being towards the end of the campaign coverage. That last few days when we have all the updates and all the information, maybe I'll start doing it that way. But I'll also save them for when we're doing larger campaigns only. Maybe 10,000 backers is the number I need. Maybe I should do one for Oathsworn, for Slay the Spire, for any campaign that has 10,000 people who are interested enough, meaning the bar might still be higher. But I think that they clearly have enough of an audience, because when I did this video, I had a lot of people asking for it, and when I did it, I had a lot of people saying that they've missed the series. And so I want both. I want the best of both worlds. I want to cater to the people who missed that series. And I like talking about them. I like enjoying those videos, but I also don't want to do too many of them or have them too frequently or clog the content more and more, as I've shifted to doing more reviews and more preview coverage. I call it preview, reviews in general, prototypes or final copies. As I've shifted to more of that, I don't want to focus too much on being Kickstarter only. So I'm going to bring back the Should You Back It videos, but it's going to likely be at the end of campaigns instead of at the beginning, and when I have more information, well, it's at the end of the campaign instead of the beginning, and on larger campaigns only. And we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm interested. I love doing the videos. I love doing all kinds of board game content. That's just a slight conversation around YouTube, the algorithm, and slight adjustments I've made to the channel as time has gone on. Which brings us to the week in review, starting off with what I played. Week in review, starting off with what I played over here. Let's go to my stats over here. So, what I have, this is going to be a short week in general, because I think I'm filming this earlier in the week than normal. And so we have, starting off, we have, I never know when I finish these off. Let's go with Wednesday. I got a play of Endless Winter in, as well as Thursday I got some bunch of plays. So I got Endless Winter played, as well as on Thursday I got a bunch of plays of Gloomhaven. Then I started diving into My Shelfie. My Shelfie is it's a new game from, oh my gosh, from Cranial Creations. It's a game of trying to like slot things into your shelf into like a Connect 4 style. It's actually solidly rewarding, definitely on the light side, but very puzzly. I don't know if I'm reviewing it. We'll talk about it more, but I definitely got a bunch of plays of that in. We got more Gloomhaven. Where are my plays? Where are my plays? Did I not log? Oh, they're my email. I'm sorry, I didn't log half. Did I not log my? Give me a second here. I clearly did not. I must have plays in my email because otherwise I have a huge problem in my hands. Huge problem is a relative term. It's not a huge problem. I thought I logged all my stuff yesterday. Nope. 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 I don't know if I have my plays. Oh, I see the problem. Give me a second. Sorry, I was on the wrong screen. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. Nope. Nope. This is still not it. We go to clear. There we go. I was filtered. Okay, so going back to where I was a second ago, this makes more sense. Here we go. Here's all my plays. For a second, I had like half my plays gone, but here we go. Endless Winter, then Gloomhaven, then Trek 12. I got a play of Trek 12 in. This is from Tanosaurus Games. They have a roll and write called Trek 12, as you might imagine. I only played it once, and I need to play it more. The first intro scenario was fun, but it's a game that you do want to play more. They have like a Trek mode or Expedition mode is something I want to play through that. We have Tiny Turbo Cars, which yes, it's on the table, but I will be playing it more, but I played through this. We have Ori Chalkim, I don't know how to pronounce it, also from Tanosaurus Games. Dice Tower just reviewed it. They gave very favorable reviews, and I like it. I'll have review coverage on it soon, but I really liked it. I only got one play so far, but really enjoyed it so far. We have Planted from Phil Walker Harding. Great game. Very accessible. Very gateway friendly, so it can be a little on the light side, but it's the kind of game that it's very, very solid for the fact that it plays in like 25 minutes and gives you a decent amount of decision space for that. We have Mansions of Madness. Again, yes, it's on the table. We'll be diving into this one more again shortly more. But Mansions of Madness, I played it a long time ago, long time ago, and I dove into it again for the first time in like 4 years. Then we have Calico. Got a bunch of plays of Calico in, as well as some more plays of Verdant. I've been playing through both of those, both solo and multiplayer. We have My Shelfie. Here are the plays of My Shelfie I talked about. Some more Gloomhaven, some more My Shelfie, and some Rolling Realms is what I have played this week. And that's what we have lined up for this week. A bunch of lighter games, bunch of roll and writes, and then a few bigger box, heavier experiences. Tiny Turbo Cars, by the way, I'll have review coverage of it. Still fantastic. I played this when they had the prototype. I played this online doing the campaign. This is my first play of it with the physical version. Really enjoyed it, and I'll have more coverage of that one soon. Which brings us to the week in review. Starting off with Saturday. Saturday, I had a review for Dark Souls. Speaking of the Dark Souls with the Brothers Murph, I reviewed Dark Souls, Painted Souls of Ariamis, and I like it, but I didn't love it. It was a 3.5 out of 5 for me. It gave you a decent amount of grind, a lot of fun character upgrading. Overall, the boss fights were very, very solid. My opinion of it came down to the fact that I'd rather play Monster Hunter World from Steamforged Games. That gave me the boss fights aspect and a whole lot of game built around that instead of built around the smaller encounters. Later on Saturday, I did a review or whatever, showcase coverage of Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown. It's only a semi-review because I didn't have all the content for the game, but what I did have was definitely enjoyable, and it's more Death May Die. And when I go over the things I like, the things I don't care about, the things I recommend, so think of it as more of a guide to Fear of the Unknown and how much you should pay attention to that in conjunction with my Death May Die review, which I did 2 weeks ago. Then on Sunday we had Why No Game Will Beat Gloomhaven, which obviously a game will beat Gloomhaven, but it's called Why No Game Will Beat Gloomhaven, except I did then ... except maybe Oath's one. Basically, it's a conversation around how board game rankings or board game geek rankings are handled, and the nature of popularity and good games, and what it takes to kind of hit that top spot. Right now, there are a bunch of games that are vying for that potential top spot. What's going to be next? Are we going to see Brass Birmingham take the spot? Are we going to see Frosthaven take the spot when it lands? Or is Oath's one going to have enough copies in the wild that eventually people will actually go ahead and that will launch stuff to the next top spot? I don't know the answer to any of those things. There are many, many theories around it. This is more of a conversation around what drives the ratings and what it takes to unseat those ratings. Then from there, later on Sunday, we had speaking of the should you back it, we had Death May Die, Should You Back It? Fear of the Unknown. Going into all the pros, the cons, what you should get, what you shouldn't get, which things you should get first if you're tight on money. Had a whole bunch of people questioning as to whether, and I answered some of them, but if you missed that, the answer is a bunch of people questioning should you get Season 1 or the Unspeakable Pledge, the Unspeakable level, whatever it is from last time. And I recommend getting the Unspeakable stuff, the content from the first Kickstarter. Why? Because even though it's either way is a good price for what you're getting, at the end of the day you can get the Season 1 stuff anytime. This is your only opportunity to get stuff that was Kickstarter exclusive until they do Season 5 and 6, which may or may not ever happen. So we'll see around that. Then on Monday, Monday we had 2 back and not to back, going over a bunch of campaigns, including Fear of the Unknown, including Slay the Spire, including Roleplay Adventures, Gullpacks of Secrets. Slay the Spire is one I'll definitely be backing. That is one which, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Slay the Spire has a lot of pushback in general around the price of it. I talked about it in my video already, but overall, I really enjoy the game, and it's really, really solid. It is expensive, but it may or may not be for you, but that's Slay the Spire. Past that, covered a bunch of other campaigns as well. Gullpacks of Adventures I should be getting. I like Roleplay Adventures. A lot of solid stuff currently on crowdfunding. On Tuesday we have a review for Copan Dying Light. That is basically from Holy Grail Games. Gave it a 4 to 5. Overall, enjoy it. Not as much as Encyclopedia, but very much enjoyed Copan Dying Light. Later on Tuesday, we had 9 Minute Kingdoms. Really like this one. It's a small box game, very under the radar. It's the kind of thing you're not going to see a lot of coverage around it. It's just not a big box game. I happened to be compelled by it when I saw it on crowdfunding last year. I backed it, and it really delivers. It gives you, similar to Planted, it's not that it's an amazing game in and of itself. It's just that it gives you a very, very quick playing game that is also rewarding for the time you invest in it, with a high degree of variability because of the fact that they give you a ton of Kickstarter expansions. Like Planted is a game I'm on the fence about how I feel about it in terms of the variability aspect, but 9 Minute Kingdoms has that part handled just fine. Then later on Tuesday, we had Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies was my last review for Tuesday. Gave the one a 4 out of 5. This is specifically Heroes Resistance. I like the regular Marvel Zombies better because it gives you more stuff, bigger stuff. It gives you larger maps, more characters. I go into it in the review. I cover why I gave Marvel Zombies a 4 to 5 and why Marvel Zombies, the big box game, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be higher than that. We'll cover it when I actually have it. But yeah, I like the Zombicide system. I think Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance is an excellent price point and way to get in on it, but at the end of the day, I do think it does compromise on the experience to some small degree. Then on Wednesday we had the weekly live show with myself, Devin, and Meg going into it. This is the second iteration of it. Hope you tuned in for that. Next week, there might not be one. I'll have to see. I'll be traveling, see that whole conversation around Steamforged, the event in there, as well as I'll be going to Poland to GamePound as well. So I'll be a little AWOL next week as far as things go. I don't know if I'll have a live show. We'll find out, or maybe Devin and Meg will do it on their own. We'll find out. We'll see. Then that's Tuesday. Then Wednesday. No, that was Wednesday. Then later on Wednesday, we had Where Are They Now for October. This is looking back at the reviews I did last year in October, taking a look where are things settled, what's going on with them, what's changed or adjusted in different ways. So you can check that out if you want to see how games change or adjust over time. Then on Thursday we had the last quarter look back. Basically, I do this once a quarter right now, or at least this is the third time I've been doing it, where I took a look at the games I played, all the games I played in the last 3 months. In this case, there were 151 different titles, and then I ranked them, trying to see what are the best games I've been playing in the past 3 months. The goal of this, to a large degree, is that I play a lot of games, I talk about a lot of games, but these videos kind of help you see what stands out, or at least what stands out for me. Which games rise to the top? Which games are the most intriguing? Which games are the most compelling when you're talking about 151 different games? And honestly, the top 60 or so, very solid. The next 90 are still pretty good in different ways. I like a lot of games, but if I was telling you to focus on certain ones, it would be the top 60 in that video. On Friday, we had What We Backed November. Rena and I went over the games that I backed in November, talking about what we backed, what we potentially want to add, all those things, going through the guesswork of what eventually what I did or didn't have shelf control around. So you can check that out as well. Which brings us to today. Today we have a few things. We have Soulforge, a review for Soulforge Fusion from, I can't remember the name of the company. Oh my gosh, it's from the people who did Ascension. I can't remember the name of the company though, but Soulforge Fusion, covering Soulforge Fusion. Overall, really well. I'm not gonna spoil it. No opinions on that one. You can watch the review later today. And then we have a review for Horizons of Spirit Island going up as well. Again, that's kind of coverage, both talking about Horizons of Spirit Island and talking about its big brother. Both that and Marvel Zombies are games in my roster to get to do review coverage around that. What do I think about this, and how does it relate to its bigger brother? And then next week we'll have a bunch of things going up. First of all, I'll have 20 games to late back. There's not going to be a 2 back or not to back this week. See previous conversation around me being out of town. Plus crowdfunding is very light this week. Instead we'll have 20 games to late back, going over 20 campaigns that are worth paying attention to, that are really solid, all of which that I've played and enjoyed. And then nextly, we'll have a video going up later in the week, 10 games I can't seem to get tabled. This is basically a conversation around the fact that there are a bunch of games that I keep pulling out and not actually playing them. I've actually played one of them since filming that video, or maybe 2, I think 1. But either way, that's 10 games that I can't seem to get tabled despite trying to multiple times, and hopefully I'll maybe actually play them. You can watch it if you're not. If not, it's not really a conversation around anything other than just my own personal wrestling with trying to get games played all the time. And that brings us to the games on the table. Games on the table, we have a few of these coming up. First of all, we have Fear of the Unknown. I'll be playing that more this week, not because I need to, but because I want to. We have Mansions of Madness. I'll be diving into this one. I'll be doing some coverage around different things in different ways, and we'll talk more about that. But Mansions of Madness should hopefully get some more plays of that one. We have Tiny Turbo Cars. This is another one that I want to definitely do some review coverage on at some point, and I want to play it more. I played it once doing the campaign, once this past week. week, and I want to dive into some of the new map tiles and interesting stuff that the game gives you, and I overall like it. It's very solid what it does. And then lastly, we have Unlock Kids. Haven't even unshrink this one, but this is Unlock Kids. This is playing Unlock, but kid-friendly, no app needed. Keep in mind, you can play Unlock with your kids as it is. It just depends on the nature of the kid, their age level, what they like, don't like, how invested they are. I think a little older, like, you know, you can play the Unlock probably with your 8 to 10-year-olds, and that, well, 8 plus, I guess I should say, although it will very much be kid-dependent. But if you want to jump in at 6 plus, if you want to jump in at 6 plus, this is apparently suited for that 6 plus range. So we'll try it out. I'll see how that one goes. In any case, that is basically your week in review. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.